In this lesson, we'll invite and remove collaborators from a project. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to invite collaborators to a project, remove a collaborator from a project, and identify if a file is in use. In Fusion 360, we have our utility knife-upload file open. We're also going to expand to show the data panel. When working in Fusion 360, we have our own data that's stored in the cloud. This is going to be inside of our hub, as well as inside of the projects and subfolders inside of that hub. We also have the ability to invite other people to work collaboratively on projects. It's important to understand the limitations as well as the functionality behind this. So we're going to take a look at inviting and removing people from a project. There are a couple different ways in which we can do this. The first is in the data panel, and at the top we can navigate between data and people. When we invite a user, we can enter their email address here. We can send the invite, and the person will get an email asking them to join and access the project. If somebody is accepted, you'll notice that they'll be displayed here in the list of people. In the data section, we can see all of the different files that are inside of this subfolder. But keep in mind that when you invite somebody to a project, they're not going to be looking at just the subfolder, but they'll be able to see all the information in that project. Also note while we're in the data panel that we have some settings. These settings allow us to change the way in which we display this information. We can view it as a grid, as a list, we can change the way it's sorted, and we can also cache this project. Because some of Fusion 360's functionality is based on internet access, if you happen to lose access while working on a file, that file will stay open. You can save a temporary version, keep working, and then when it reconnects to the internet, it'll automatically upload that version. However, there might be times when you want to save a local cache. We're not going to be talking about that in this lesson, so if you want more information, be sure that you use the help file and search for locally caching your projects. From here, we want to take a look at other ways in which we can access this data. There's a small icon with an eyeball that says Open on the Web. We can take a look at this entire project on the web, or we can take a look at individual files. For example, our utility knife upload, there's an option to view details on the web once we expand the versions. There's also the option from the file dropdown to view details on web. These options will take a look at the specific file that we're working on. However, this option will take a look at the folder inside of this project. Once this is open, we're now inside of Teams. Teams is going to be a web location where we can access this data. It's important to note that there are several details inside of here. First, we're looking at the Intro to ME and MFG project, and we're taking a look at the folder Foundational Concepts. Inside of here, we can see all of the different designs, and in this case, the one that's currently in use and open in Fusion 360. We have options to take a look at opening this on the desktop. This option is great if you're looking at a file that's not currently open. We can also open it on the web, and there's some limited CAD functionality that we're not going to be taking a look at, but there's preview functionality that allows us to create basic sketches and features inside of a web browser. Also note there are other options such as copying the file, renaming it, sharing it, or even creating a milestone. We'll talk about share links a little bit later. We also want to note that inside of the project details on the right-hand side, we can expand this and take a look at the type of project. In this case, by default, the project is set to closed. If we select Manage Members, we can see all the members that are currently in this project. These different members can have different types of roles. For example, project admin, or editor, viewer, or also another project admin. Keep in mind when you're working in Fusion 360 that there are other ways that you can create admins as well. In this case, we're taking a look at a specific project, but we could also be talking about an entire hub. So again, the project details on the right-hand side will tell us information about the type of project as well as the members. There is additional information such as settings that can be changed for the type of project. We can also see activity, But what we're specifically looking at here is ways in which we can invite and remove users. Right now, the project member here on the right-hand side has an option to remove the user. If we select this option, notice that it gives us a prompt. Are you sure that you want to remove this user? We can cancel, or we can select Remove Project Member. For now, I'm going to cancel, but it's important to note that we have this option to remove the user as long as we are a project admin. Again, the content is available here inside of our Foundational Concepts folder and also available directly inside of Fusion 360. We're going to talk more about the functionality inside of Teams on the web, but for right now, let's go ahead and move on to the next lesson.